If you like cookies that are kind of dry and don't have a ton of flavor to them, then these s'more cookies are for you. This is another one of my experiments that resulted in something that was decent enough to be worth trying again, but not in the exact same way. Feel free to speculate on what could have made these better. It's good for the algorithm. So over here I have a mixture of s'more ingredients and cookie ingredients. Let's start putting them together. I've become a big fan of measuring by weight and proportioning my ingredients according to what I am making. This is going to be a small batch of cookies, so I'll start with 70 grams of sugar. That's about 1/3 of a cup. With cookies you want twice as much fat as sugar, so I'll shoot for 140 grams of vegetable shortening. That's about 2/3 of a cup, so double the volume of sugar if you prefer to measure that way. Then I just whip that together for a while. I use butter most of the time, but today I decided to try something with a little more neutral flavor. No s'more I ever had tasted like it had a stick of butter in it, so vegetable shortening it is. Let's throw an egg in there too, seems like a good idea. Normally you use 3 times the amount of flour as sugar, but I'm gonna keep doing what I've been doing and substitute some of it with crushed graham crackers. There's 140 grams of flour in there, so I'll add 70 grams of crushed graham crackers, which adds up to 210 grams of dried ingredients. Little history lesson: when Alexander Graham Bell invented the graham cracker, he also made up the unit of mass off of which he based the entire metric system. So that gets mixed in just like the flour. I think I should have used a lot more graham cracker to get the effect that I wanted. It ended up tasting a little too plain. Then, without being too particular about measuring, I filled up this food processor with a bit of this big chocolate bar, a bunch of mini marshmallows, and I started adding graham crackers but then decided that they would be easy enough to just crush and drop in. I want chunks of graham cracker in there in addition to what is in the dough. This stuff I blend until it looks like that, somewhat bigger than chocolate chips, and then it just gets mixed in. Doesn't that look good? You may notice I didn't add any kind of baking powder. That should be fine because of all the air that I whipped into the shortening at the beginning. I made a foolish mistake and used the majority of the dough to make the first batch of cookies without knowing the best way to bake them. I also second guessed myself and decided that I should have squished them down a few minutes into baking. I baked them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for a while and they were looking good, but I wanted the marshmallow to brown like it would if you were roasting it over a campfire, so I turned the temperature up to 425 degrees. When that didn't work, I finished them with the broiler. Yeah, the marshmallow kind of just melted into a brown sludge and hardened. Not the result I was looking for. I tried to be a little more sane with the last 4 cookies and baked them at 350 degrees until they were almost done and then turned the broiler on for a few minutes. My microphone got unplugged while I was blurting out details to my future self, so details about bake times got lost. I want to say I baked a small batch for about 20 minutes. I mean, I could look at when the video file was created and figure out how long it was between clips, but nah. Anyway, there are better ways to make s'more cookies. I'm sure there are some good recipes out there. These are kind of like eating compacted dust with bits of chocolate and hardened marshmallow interspersed. This is something I would like to challenge myself to do better in the future. It shouldn't be too hard.